value Jace super early on in the game either. I know he's a lane bully, but it's difficult. Yeah, lads is the right response here. What's going on here, fellas? Yeah, Jace is like a lane bully in one, but I find it difficult to find damage in your 2 versus 2. So weird change up actually. I don't know. We'll see, because yeah, my eyes are double CC equals double win. That's like the easy way to go for it.
Yeah, for sure. So VKS definitely in a good position coming up the draft, in my opinion, and in a good position momentum-wise, as they have to be right now. We'll see if it... Oh, he's gone straight past it. What a genius. No information given as of yet. I imagine he'll be back for it, but still. It is going to delay that info. Yeah. Gives that info wait for just a little bit, and we head on to this bot side. Now, we do have the Leona into Rakan. You mentioned Leona can stymie up the Rakan engages and just go for her own. At level 1 with the Guardian, they keep him alive, and Crastiel is down to 200 HP. This trade is not looking good, Keedstars. We're not loving this one. And the classic Zerian lane, by the way, just straight up wins.
Jojo went for Q level 1 actually, so got some weird trading power with the Gleaming Quill, able to heal up plus poke from afar as opposed to the standard Rakan, which you poke and it's an all-in really. But Grell's gone for a 3-camp bot. Brunsey's reading this.
Oh, the bait. He gets the stun off, and there's the cleanse, and that's already, to be honest, decent value to just step in. Barely takes him any time to find it. And that's something off the table there. The Leona, a bit more potent now if they get on top of that Zeri.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's the time spent there. Grell spent very little waiting to go there. And got a big boost for it, right? It gives Leona free access to an engager later on. Desamis is on a ward here. I don't know what Gigo's dash status is. He's going to have to be careful here. He knows Desamis is in here. What are we doing?
Well, he's just walking into his face, takes a trade, and now he's lost some HP, I suppose. Well, that's cool. That's cool, I guess. So, yeah,
I can't explain that.
Yeah, so we're a little baffled, I think, so far, as we can go back and see the Zeri, the lasers already poking away. Steps has burned through all of their potions. Brunsey with the longsword 3-pot, so a bit more effective HP to work with. And if they don't get caught by Zenith Blade, they're pretty chilling until the next pack.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with how we've seen the early game for Fluxo play out. I know, right, that this is only very early on. They've still got a long ways to go before they reach that late game Exodia that we highlighted for them in the draft, but their ability to at least mediate some of their engages and the adaptation that they've made, at least in this bot side as well, for one, really stands them in good stead, I think.
Yeah, for sure. We saw Crastiel find his Zenith Blade in there, but even then, the Ultra Shock laser next to that terrain just completely pushes Steps away. Can't find any kind of favorable trade, and while we're waiting for these lane matchups to kind of burst as everyone starts to pull the resets, pull the TPs, I want to get your read on Desamis generally as a jungler, because we have so many strong junglers in this league. Karaoke, now he's awake. We've got Aegis there, we've got Croc as well. There's so many, and Ranger, the Ranger Nation coming back on the scene. And Desamis, we had, he's got so much potential. We wanted to see more out of him for so long, and now we finally are. But how do you feel that he stacks up in a role that is relatively stacked in this region?
Okay, so outside of performance, Desamis is my favourite jungler because of his champion pool. I love that he plays little unique things. So we'll pull out a Gragas, we'll pull out a Lilia, and I think that damage profile that he can provide to the team gives Fluxo an edge in draft that not all of our teams have got. And I think that just generally speaking, he matches up to those other junglers that you'd mentioned fine. It's not like he's outperforming them all, but he's certainly looking to try and outperform Grell.
They've got the flash and the knock-up from Rakan, and they'll just use it to leverage this camp, and they'll take that one away. But yeah, Desamis with nice pathing there, straight through, and then the Rakan rotating over to help him. Oh, Howls actually goes aggressive into Grevthar, knocks him back. Gets the flash out of Annie, holding his own as well.
Very close. But, like you say, gets the flashback, so it's not like we're particularly disappointed by this trade if we are Vivo Keedstars. It's a nice little 1-for-1. Crastiel in this mid lane, though, just helping him force this wave under the turret if possible. Oh, maybe more.
He finds the Zenith Blade, actually takes a tower shot for his trouble, but Grevthar's there to follow it up. Jojo now rotating again, is going to get the Grand Entrance. Shock Blast is blocked by Crastiel. Quick on his feet, quick wits from the Leona to save Grevthar from what could have been his death.
Very easily been his death as well. Really exciting movements from our early game supports here as they're both trying to just mediate some of the tensions in our solo lanes. Not the explosive early game that I think that Vivo Keystars would have wanted, but Grell is certainly doing at least his best to try and hold that wave. That's like the jungler's duty in this case. I didn't actually help you in the gank, but I'll do my best for you afterwards. Doesn't even get to hold the wave. Good little response there once again.
Yeah, just pressuring it away, making sure they've done, dotted the I's and crossed the T's, not letting them get a free freeze out there after they had the successful counter-attack from Rakan. Jojo making great use out of this pick, one of our more experienced supports here, obviously held Titan's leash for many splits, and is doing well with Titan 2.0, otherwise known as Bronze 8. Dealing well with him right here, as House maybe smells something is up there, happy to let the wave bunch up and sit safely by his tower.
Yeah, not really surprised here either that he's quite happy to let this just be the case.
Yeah.
I've certainly been under a lot of pressure so far this game, but Drake started here. Fluxo, they kind of want this, you can tell.
Oh, Jojo really wants it, flashes in, but doesn't actually get it from Grell. Oh, the anti-ult comes in for the double stun, and now Bronze slides over the wall, looks for Grell to sew this one up. First blood for Zeri, that's what you want for Fluxo. The eggs are in the Zeri basket, and the first one has just been placed.
Beautiful. First blood in the back pocket for Fluxo. Gonna hope that they can push this and, like we say, get to that late game point a little bit quicker here. We've seen Zeri moments happen time and time again, and I don't think that today would be any exception. Remember, Trajan coming into this one that we're expecting this to be maybe our most crazy game. So far, it has not delivered. The trends of patterns and what have you are letting us down a little bit. But I think for the time being, we can be happy with this engage, as it's, starting off with Jojo, goes on in, and then House. You think that this double stun is actually going to turn it back around, but Brunty says, nuh-uh, fam. I'm quite happy to flash under a turret. What about it?
Yeah, Aphelios not quite in the region there. And to be fair, Loud versus, I forgot who they even trashed in the last game. INTZ was, that was pretty chill for the first, 10-15 minutes. It was a pretty slow one. Loud just basically taking every dragon and then waiting. And then as soon as they lost control, then it started to get a bit spicier. And Fluxo definitely not with an unbeatable lead right now. About 1,000, they will get a Drake over to Vivo keyed themselves, so they will even out that value somewhat. But yeah, the early start for Fluxo, not as fast as they would have wanted, but they still got that gold onto Zeri where they want it to be, and the rest of the lanes are very much in hand.
And that top lane as well, an area of the map that I'd highlighted might well be difficult with, Renekton bullying out a lot of lanes. Not the Cassante, it would appear.
No.
Tay is more than happy, sitting up there, top lane tank status, and just vibing. Even in form, actually ahead right now. So genuinely very impressive performance from Tay, and again, can't emphasize this enough how much of a breakout split this has been for him.
Bronze, the ultra dropped him bot side, the dash and wall, but the flashing from Steps. He's got red and white guns. He wants this one, and there's the 1 versus 1.
Hey.
Steps up, takes Bronze down.
Love that, recognizing that you are stronger in that moment and finding the 1 versus 1. Red-white is just too OP, and it looked like it was actually going to be winning for Brunsey, but turned back around as soon as that Moonlight Vigil came down. Now Vivo Keystars looking for this Rift Herald. Tay is here, 4 members versus 4. AD carries, be damned. We're going to see a scrap, or are Fluxo going to give this?
No, we don't need him. Tay making a 4-4. Jojo's got the quickness, but out comes Tibbers to slow the advance. The Psalmist with the double belly bump. Fluxo need to stay together as VKS have melted back into the jungle, and Grell finds the first reset. And that's probably the fight done. So the Shock Blast will slip past Grell's face, take the hairs off his nose, but they'll still head back onto the Herald with the objective fight won.
Really nice and controlled from Fluxo there. They recognise that they have to peel off to begin with, and then turn back to it once they found the first kill. Yeah, I'm really happy with how Fluxo, or Vivo Keystars rather, approached that. Like I say, measured approach. It's going to get them this Rift Herald. They don't get too much else from it, but a kill onto your Viego and a kill onto Grell specifically, I think, is where I'm more happy that it is. Because this guy, like I say, came into the Vivo Keystars roster and has genuinely performed above what I was expecting from him.
Yeah, for sure. We it was kind of we had no idea how it was going to go, right? Coming over from the LLA could be, I guess, it's a good testament to the strength of the other South American region right there.
Don't say that. We're the Brazilian one. We can't say that.
Of course. So yeah, he's Brazilian now. We own Grell. It's a homegrown Brazilian talent popping off on VKS.
That's better.
and is gonna carry them into the playoffs. Gosh darn it. And this Viego kill might be the start of that one. So VKS evening up the gold with the dragon in their pocket and have the gold in the right positions as well. But we can see Bronze with the first mythic on board here. It's going to have that extra defense and that extra item advantage for at least a little while. Imagine Step's going to go match it here.
Yeah, BT versus Shield Bow, pretty weird in how different they are for the stats that they give, right? They both give the same stats, but just in different avenues, because BT is overheal to begin with. Immortal Shield Bow is, oh damn, I'm in a pinch, quick, give me a shield. So we'll get to see VKS get a lot more value out of this Bloodthirster until those really explosive team fights.
Well, the knock up onto Crastiel there with the quickness, and Disamis will clean it up there. Again, Jojo and Disamis really pairing up well today, making good counter plays and aggressive catches. They're doing it all for Fluxo though so far.
Yeah, nice and straightforward. Again, a lot of these teams, or both of these teams, are just capitalizing on their mistakes of their foes.
Steps cast away from the tower, and there's the combo with the knock-up Infernum. There's a fair amount of work back, and Grelly needs to find one of these kills. So many low HP bars, but none of them offering the reset. That fight could have been very different with a bit more damage in a single place, as Howls has rotated up to top side to get Tay out of that weak side hole. Gives him a kill.
Okay, again, just super close for a lot of these teams, with Grell there, one flash that doesn't get burned, one stasis that doesn't keep Disarmus alive, and he's able to find a triple kill on that bot side. Resets with Heartbreaker would have been brutal. He's got Kraken Slayer now finished as well, so is more than a ways the strongest member on this Vivo Keystars roster. This is that play of what happened in the top side, and it looks like it's just a bit of an overextension from Gigo. Tay decides to go all out, knowing that he's got House in the vicinity, and then as soon as House sort of shows his face, it becomes a fight that Gigo is never particularly going to win.
Yeah, keeps him keen there, dashing in and out with the all-out. Oh, I'm so weak, I've just taken all my resistances off, what am I doing? But then House, comes in with the flash, and oh, that's what he was doing. Ty continuing to not lose any lanes. I don't know the last time I saw this guy lose a lane. It might have literally been week 2. Which is crazy considering how hard he was losing those lanes in week 2. Like, oh my goodness. The Vlad, I still remember.
And not just in week 2 as well. In split 2 of 2022, Tay was like I would rag on him consistently because it was... Yeah. He was on a really poorly performing INTZ roster. Didn't look great on it himself. Every time he got a carry was, really underperforming on it. But this split, even on carries, has looked really good. Now he's obviously on a Cassante, something that feels a little bit more bread and butter for him. Even though the champion only just came out, it's the same archetype that I associated with him anyway. But Tay really has turned it around in 2023, so more than happy to see him performing.
For sure. Disami's had an angle there, but is spotted out by a timely control ward. As the scuttle will be picked up by VKS. They're going to start this dragon up. They'd like to keep that stacking going. They are falling a little bit behind now off those last couple of plays. And they're going to get this dragon, I think, uncontested. Disami's don't know if he's there in time, but Jojo, he's there. Crastiel blocks the egress from the Gragas that actually pops at the hands of Greftar and steps again with the Aphelios free-firing with the Crescendum Severum. These Aphelioses today have been doing work in the team fights. VKS, they even the kills up, they even the gold up, but that's 2 dragons to their name.
And, wow, okay. This game shouldn't be going like this, Trajan. VKS, the absolute wild card of CBLOL. I said coming in that they take games up against Los Grandes and then lose games randomly to teams that are just around them in the standings, but this is a true performance from VKS, and it's what we expect, right? These are the solo lanes from Red Canids in 2021 that were in the first finals after COVID in person. Incredibly enough, they are, bottom of the table at the minute, and that's a great replay actually to show out Crastiel blocking the entrance from Disarmus. But Vivo Keystars constantly just, when we count them out, when I count them out, right now, before this game, right? Fluxo have every point, every advantage going in, but as soon as you load up onto the Rift, it looks like Vivo Keystars are just stepping into their shoes right at the correct times.
Yeah, Crastiel doing his best. Apu jumping in front of the store owner meme in this whole game, putting his body on the line for all of his teammates, all the objectives. Picks the Leona and just puts himself in the way of Fluxo whenever they need to get in there. Gigu does hold onto this tower for now, and he does have a Leona and a Viego in the back pocket. Probably will be able to maybe delay this one, but I think they know maybe not worth the investment. They'll find it with now Fluxo getting the bodies in place, and perhaps Gigu has hung around too long for this one. Jojo is in the area with the quickness. They'll probably be able to find him. A flashless Renekton pops the Dominus, but here comes the burst in. Will he survive it? He will not. I picks it up. Crastiel and Grell looking to fight back onto this Cassante. It's a pretty tricky task. They go all out, and now all the members of Fluxo come through, but steps in with the midlight vigil. Fires back
Jojo.
again. This Aphelios is the difference maker in these fights and takes out the Rakan, makes it the 1-for-1.
Wow, okay, so again, massively extended engagements, this time on the top side of the map. And the Cassante actually doesn't have enough staying power in that front line to warrant the on-forward slaught from Fluxo. Somehow Jojo, who's like the furthest back member of that, gets caught by the AoE off the Moonlight Vigil, and then Calibrum auto-attack because of it ends up taking him out. But you can tell, again, Grell was actually doing very meaningful damage here. The Leona-Viego combo, not to be underestimated for how much damage they can deal, was, like I say, handling the front line very easily.
Ty, the richest player in the game, just in front of Steps now. This man just cannot stop winning these days. They cracked that top tower. That was the first turret for Fluxo there in that game, and now they've got bodies heading over onto that bot side. How's been doing his duty. All assists all day so far in this Jace, but it's been pumping out a lot of damage, getting that wave control there, making sure they're doing good objective damage as Gigo again finds himself under another tower that's about to get dived. And we might see a quick replay of that topside play, but with many less bodies in the area. Fluxo not quite as confident.
Yeah, and I think that they're recognizing now that they've been stepping potentially to the incorrect drum, to the beat of the incorrect drum, rather, here as Grell and Crastiel. I'm more than happy to see these two pairing up just consistently as much as possible.
Okay,
now, Crastiel,
now,
they're going to be a bit too far.
Here comes Jojo. Doesn't actually get a great quickening off, and Crastiel, they will lock him up. They'll find the kill there. Guigo's popped the Dominus. Grell looking for a potential pincer, but there's so many Fluxo members here. They're trying to get Brunsey down. He's so low, but he's not dead yet. And Fluxo find two more steps with the Inferno flashes away. He's got one. He could literally 1v4 this. Who wants to step up? Who wants to take a crack at the Aphelios? And the answer might be nobody. DC gets the belly bump, doesn't get the CC there, and there's Brunsey there to follow it up. Well managed by Fluxo. That got very sketchy for a moment.
Yeah, that was nice and close there, and I think that Steps had the highlight reel in his eyes, unfortunately. Just not quite the damage. That Infinity Edge only just being completed on this base. If you'd have had that for that fight, it's a completely different story. 3-man Infernum absolutely shreds Fluxo in that position. But as we mentioned, Crastiel Grell just a bit too far up, and actually the fact that Jojo gets sidestepped there is a little bit funny to me. Grell has Heartbreaker the whole time, and I think just missing out on the combo here, Gigo right there at the right time, gets CC'd actually, Grell. He's like looking to perform the one shot, can't quite find it, and with that flash there, you're thinking, okay, well this is time for Steps here. Unfortunately, he gets just caught out by Gragas slow, then Ultra Shock Laser slow, and it's all just a little too much. This Armus comes back in, and Steps knows that he wants to go for the Zeri first of all, but unfortunately doesn't quite have enough in the tank to take all three of them down.
As the Herald crashes into this mid lane tower, the Dragon's still up after all that, and we're going to have another blowout for it. But VKS, now they've got Grevthar, now they've got that little bit of extra burst and CC. Steps with no summoners though. He's got red and white guns. Every time this man manages his Aphelios guns to perfection, he's got the tools he needs, but they've got to keep him alive. They've got to keep Jojo off his back.
Tay chunked out on the bot side of the map. Here comes that fight.
Well, they're going for it. They got the Steps there. They got the knock up in the cast, but it knocks him to safety almost, and he's over the wall. He's been all outed by Tay, who isolates him and defeats him as Grell now again bully circled as VKS. This fight is a very, very different story, and that massive all out from the Cassante completely excises the Aphelios for the ace.
And just like that, Trajan, it looks like a top of the table team versus a bottom of the table team. Fluxo absolutely manhandle Vivo Keystops. Yep, Steps fired, no auto attacks, had absolutely no time to do so, and that is the power of a good flank, power of good vision control, right? The control ward on one side of a wall. Disarmis, Jojo, flash it or get dashed over the wall, and then just go straight on. Oh, this is even worse. This makes it even worse, the fact that they see this coming. Jojo insta-charm, and Steps moves for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. He has no control over what happens to him. Just gets bumped up, beat down, and slammed into the enemy. Jesus.
Yeah, without Aphelios, it's kind of, you know, we said that so many eggs were in the Zeri basket. As the game ticks on to be that damage, Steps has really felt almost as essential for VKS to win these fights. Maybe not necessarily by design, but that's just how it's played out. Without him, they're really struggling to get this to work. As now, all of a sudden, House, it feels like just a minute ago he was 0-0-4. Now he's 4-1-7. 5-1-6 on the Zeri. They are rolling in cash now. And
comparatively, Grethvar has been absent this game.
Oh, it steps forward for it and does 0 damage to the Rakan. They're still forcing this one. They got the House down. Steps makes a step forward, keeps himself alive. Brunsey still ticking away with those burst fires, but now it's VKS with the grouped up team fight, taking one member down at a time from Fluxo, and they'll get 3 kills in that exchange.
Yeah, and they can get the Baron as well. This is actually really scary for Fluxo now. One fight goes well, another just goes the complete opposite direction. This is the CBLOL special. Just as we think one team has got an advantage, gets pivoted right back around. Brunsey doesn't have ulti up now. That was what Vivo Keystars were waiting for, but he's still strong enough to step up to this. Health bars are low. With Disarmis in the picture as well, he's got Smite. Vivo Keystars, they need to make a play. They need to commit, or they need to try and find the fight. Neither one of them have happened just yet.
Greftar's TP'd back in. That might be enough to wall out Brunsey. DCMS can go for the steal. I don't think they can split it. Greftar's going to stop him, and Felios grabs it. DCMS is out. He flashes to safety, but Baron is secured. Again, a very tense exchange there over the Baron. And when Greftar had his recall delayed, I thought that might be it. I thought that might be enough time for Brunsey and DCMS to make it work. But Gold's back even. VKS still with the Dragon lead, and now they've got the Baron to play with.
I cannot get past this game, man. This is absolutely incredible.
Like you say,
Grethvar goes in, does nothing. But House steps onto Gigo and gets chain CC'd by Krastial. So that's one reset for Grell, who's then able to turn into a Rakan after the fact and actually give a fair amount of utility, whilst also then heartbreakering and securing another kill. Like, these fights are so one-sided or so close, and then when we get one-sided ones, it's like immediately responded to with another one-sided fight just the other way.
Exactly. VKS now. Let's see how they can use this Baron buff, because they still need to get this lead back in hand. They need to get their scaling completed. They're still against the Zeri, against the Cassante, that are going to be very big issues as the game scales on. They're going to head onto this top side to start that push going. We do have the Prowler's Claw build for Gigu here today, as opposed to the tankier option that Robo 1v9'd on earlier. How do you feel about this choice for him for the one-shot build of the lethality?
Okay, so it's good because they recognize as well there is one target for me to kill, and if I kill them, it's more than worth it to sacrifice my life. If we see Gigo find access to Brunsey dies, right? And as much as Cleanse is really cool, you need Cleanse plus Flash, because yes, you block the Renekton W, but you don't stop damage, right? It stops the stun effect, but it doesn't stop the damage going through, and that's what this build does, is it does so much penetrative damage to you that even though you're cleansing the CC effect, you likely still die within the 2 seconds that the W animation is.
Yeah, and like you can cleanse the Renekton W, but there's also Leona ult, there's also Annie ult. Like there's a lot of things needing cleansed for Brunsey in this game. And the quicker you can get that off the table, the easier it might be. Gigu in the mid lane, Fluxo committing for him. Quickness is dropped, DCMS comes in, a flash used by Renekton, and he gets away, in fact, and look at top lane. VKS have been on this push the whole time.
Cleanse not quite needed for Brunsey there. Grethvar dashing forward with the Molten Shield, but this is an inhibitor going down. Actually, that's about my tongue. They're going to try and use the minions to do it, but Fluxo have held them back for now. I think this next wave coming in should give Vivo Keystars the Baron. Gigo, I would like to see Gigo just TP here. This Baron, taking the inhibitor at this point, would give them so much control.
Yeah, it's on the opposite side of the Drake, right? They want to get to that soul point. And now Jojo, he doesn't quite have the quickness, but Man can still go for the Flash W. The explosive cask doesn't find anything of value. Now Ty tries to force it. Look at that backline damage, though. And Rastiel's about to go down. Greftar comes out of stasis and flashes away from the Ultra Shock Laser. Just about alive, as Gigu is now here. But VKS with a lot of blinking red HP bars and a long way to walk back to safety. Howl's threatening on the side. Jojo stops the recalls. DCM's back in base. BKS, will they be allowed to escape with all of their members alive?
Jojo's looking for an Ignite here. If he can walk in range of Grethfar, then he dies to that Ignite Molten Shield. The movement speed is just enough. Now the question is who gets down to that Drake in time, because everybody's committed up to this top side. Nobody's in position. Nobody's got vision on the bot side of the map. We get to see Ty TPing down. I think that House has as well. Grell, he's caught.
Grell. Oh, he's hurting real bad. But look at the fire back, and Gigo's there for the Prowler's Claw. And there's the reset. Grell heals back up, House with a TP in, can't find the damage, flashes away from the Q. Grevthar's now in here with the TP. And Grell, he slips out of the clutches of Fluxo, and now they've got smite advantage.
Wow, okay, this is insane. The smite now goes down, and Vivo Keystars are in a soul point position. Gold is still dead even, by the way. Neither of these teams have an actual advantage when we get to broad scale 5 versus 5s. But it is these dragons now really in Vivo Keystar's favor. 5 minutes time from here, they're going to have infinite control over the map. Baron spawns in 140, so we get a nice dance on that top side. Trajan, this game, it's delivering. I'm still really sad that they didn't get the inhibitor on the top side, right? Gigo TP'd in, that inhib was an auto and a W reset away from dying. Decided not to do it, decided just to walk away. Like, there are so many questionable things going on, but it all makes for just great League of Legends.
Yeah, for sure. And lest we forget, this game is for all the marbles for VKS. They have to win every single game left in the regular split to have a chance of making playoffs. And they need Furia to go 3 Ls in a row, as now they'll find House in the brush. Grell drops down to half. Grevthar's there, but can he follow up in time? He's not there. Jojo follows it up. And Grevthar likely to be served up as the second. The Baron is not live, thankfully for VKS, but Crash sails in. He can't save the Annie. He tries his best. But it'll be 2 quick kills for Fluxo, and they'll get the map control from it.
And that doesn't necessarily mean Baron, but it does mean that Vivo Keystars are going to have to face check everything on their way into it. You can already see Ty starting his descent starting his ascent into the top side of the map very early on. So he's going to go back and catch that bot wave. But with all of this said, 2 kills doesn't just net them vision over the Baron, it nets them this tier 2 turret in the mid lane, tier 2 turret in the bot lane, and a big gold injection to Fluxo. I don't know that Crastiel wanted that, I'll be honest with you. I know Steps is strong, but I don't know that he's 4v2 strong.
Yeah, I don't know if we're calling for that one. Yeah, just throwing it out there, hoping, I guess, that it'll be... Well, it's actually going to be on cooldown now when the Baron spawns, so we'll see if that matters. But the recall's being pulled by Fluxo. It doesn't look like they're going to go for the rush. They don't want to throw this one. They've got that gold. They want to spend that injection first and maybe come and fight on a more even playing field, because there is a while left on that next dragon. The Baron is the one game-breaking objective left on the field right here, and it doesn't feel like either side has a particularly strong split-push siege angle. You know, it feels like it's all about the fights with them.
It really is. There's no, like you say, I think Jace is maybe the most potent side laner here, and House is actually, fairly strong at this point. He's hit the 3 items on Jace, and that's the point where the champion just does damage. Doesn't matter how far ahead or behind you are, damage has come through. He's also got a spare lethality item in that serrated dirk in his back pocket as well. On the flip side, we're still waiting for Grethfar's Rabadons, and he's caught out farming for it.
Yeah, you might get the shortcut back to the fountain here. He goes stasis, but it's still 3 people sitting on his head. And there he goes. There you go. Shortcut back to the fountain. Picks up the Rabadons, based by Grevthar. And do we collapse this right here? Ty and Brunsei is not moving just yet. He started now. VKS, if you can find an angle, if you can find it quick,
to be fast.
You can make this work. Steps has the guns he needs for a fight. They go into House. He breaks. He pulls the gun too early. And Jace feeds himself over. Now they have a 4v4 that is playable. We go Dominus running out. Crastiel looking for a stun. Ty. Remember, watch for the all-outs. If he separates out Steps, that could be nightmares for him. They find a stun into Jojo. Grell doesn't get the stun. And now, that body blocker, the all-important meat shield, has dropped away. Grigo flashes in, looks for Brunsey, but can't find him. And now Steps has been caught out, and Brunsey goes wild with the quadra kill. All the things come down. It's served up for Zeri. The ace is there, and there goes the Baron.
Brunsey spacing and disarm it with the team fight outplay. Brunsey knows exactly what he needs to do, knows Renekton has flash, knows he's going to go for that engage, so spaces appropriately. Gigo goes forward, can't find the stun in time, and I'll wait for the replay to break down the rest, because that was beautiful from Fluxo. The Baron is going to go their way. They even get to wait for House to respawn before they get the Baron taken down, so all 5 members manage to secure it. House insta-TPs into the bot lane. I think that's a little overzealous. But you can see just the way Fluxo all split, they spread their members, so Vivo Keystars had to respond to one person at a time. And yes, it's House that they find generally a pretty good target to go for. Then we get this reset into another 4 versus 4 coming out, and now Vivo Keystars are the one that are trying to play with vision. Crastial goes forward, burns the cleanse from Brunsey with the solar flare, and this is where Gigo steps back into the brush and just watch Brunsey for one, manages to get away, but Disarmis, double body slam, and now Vivo Keystars are caught again.
They're trying to make this one work, Vivo Keystars. Remember the last Baron? BKS fought back and slowed Fluxo's advance, and they haven't found the kills just yet, but they have at least forced our second place team to give them some space, give them some respect. They are backing away, the TP coming in as well. BKS really want to keep Fluxo on the back foot right here. House is dead already. I didn't even notice that he's already gone down. It's Guigu. He's caught out the rest of his team, so coming down the wall, it's traded. Isamis picks it up, the 1-for-1, and now Brunsey stepping forward. He's feeling confident. He's feeling good about it. Steps on his own. Will he have to burn the flash? Looks like he's okay. Grell finds Isamis on the side. He's looking to try and get that jungler down. Fluxo being pulled this way and that, but they're on to Crastiel once again. House is up, but no TP. The 4v4 still there. The final stun to Brunsey. There's Grevdar as well. They have to kill this Zeri. Can they get it? A perfect stasis. Grevdar's waiting for his chance. Brunsey goes down and Grell finds the reset with the Heartbreaker. VKS again. They have stymied Fluxo with a fresh Baron buff. They take the 5v5 and they just win it. Ty has been chased away towards the base as Grell, I think, might be getting somewhat bullied here. No, he's fine. They've got into the pit at least, and they haven't gotten the soul. But Fluxo, again, this fight goes so wrong.
If there's one thing that I've learned about this game, Trajan, it's that we can never predict who's going to come out on top. The fact that House is caught before that fight even happens, I didn't even notice that that happened either. But the Jace being down means that the 4 versus 5 that ensues should be going very VKS way. But then again, Gigo gets caught out on the Renekton, and he goes down without ever really contributing anything, so it is ending up being a 4 versus 4. But finally we get to see the real Vivo Keystars come through with their team fight. Grell plus Crastial, that duo that we'd hyped up from the early game, find Brunsey, even though there's a stasis to buy time, and even though he was burst firing like an absolute madman, dishing out DPS, they were able to take out this Zeri. Won't have the stasis next time. That's a one-time use. Has got cleanse ready, and Mikhail's from Jojo there was actually really huge, because we were thinking, how is he going to be able to deal with all the CC? Well, you've got a cleanse for 1, you've now got a Mikhail's for 2. Baron spawning 3 minutes away. Ocean Soul spawning 3.5 minutes away. We've got a bit of a downtime here, Trajan, but something tells me that we're just going to get another fight.
Yeah, Corel maybe looking for a Spectral Maw to tie right there, but maybe just buying time for the split push from Gigu. House in nowhere near an advantageous position, way up in the top side. VKS, they do need to keep control of their inhibitor tower, though. They're going to try and slow Ty down. Gigu's on the push right there. Steps has the fighting guns, but we're not watching them. And they have Fluxo have gotten this wave into the tower. VKS, maybe they try and crush them against it, but that's a 4v5 if they opt for it. House has come around the corner. Tower goes down. VKS, they're just losing this one.
Inhibitor for inhibitor, but the question is, do Fluxo go for more here? They've not got much of a wave, but they've got enough to try and take a turret or two.
They're forcing the TP. They'll save their own bot inhibit at least, and one tower will be dropped. Now, Fluxo, can you get away with this? Can you sneak away with the heist that you've opted for? Gigo drops the early Dominus, explosive cast.
Looks good.
Slows down the chase. Grevthar, with no flash, can't get in range for a long-range engage. And Fluxo have managed this one well.
No inhibitor falls on the bot side either. This is a massive win for Fluxo, biding their time and taking the bait up against the Renekton split push. More than works out for them. Now, there is a wave in that bot side. Ooh. Finally, House gets to go back to base and will be able to clear it out. The inhibitor does fall. It's actually really big, in fact.
Calculated.
So, yeah, I mean, just about there from Gigo. Split push efforts are matched, but it's one Nexus turret as well that went down. Very small margins going to separate these two teams. I hope it comes down to a team fight and not down to some teleport backdoors. Became a lot more likely now. We've got 2 TPs and then open inhibitors on a couple sides.
I'd be okay with it if it came down to mirrored teleport backdoors. So they both try it, then I'll be okay with it. But just don't end it like last time. I think last game, right, where at some point one person just got caught out and the game just ended. You know, there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of nonsense in that exchange between Loud9 and TZ, but it ended with a bit of a whimper. And hopefully our last game of the day, we called for the biggest chicanery of all, and we've gotten a fair stirring of it 36 minutes in so far. VKS fighting with everything they have. Guigo pops his Dominus, and Fluxo just walk away, so not quite sure.
Cancel that ward. That's really important.
About the timing there. Unfortunate with the cooldown not ready, but, you know, still nothing quite to fight over yet, so I imagine they'll just, you know, Fluxo don't know that happened, so...
Yeah,
no one
that's
saw
the fortunate thing. Yeah, genuinely. From Fluxo, genuinely nobody saw. Now, the Baron does spawn in 20 seconds. That Dominus isn't going to be ready on that window, like, of the respawn. Likelihood is that by the time these two teams decide that they're going to actually find an engagement, it may well be up if Vivo Keystars can play respectfully enough. But How's now more than happy to dish out damage. That poke was insane.
Oh, the Cask splits up the team. Look at Crasio and Guigo completely separated off in the Grevdar TP. Puts him in the middle of everyone. Guigo's trying to find it, looking for Jojo. Grail needs the resets, but this team fight is just a mess for VKS. The explosive Cask from Decimis, legendary from the Fluxo jungler. And with 3 dead, I think we might have been punished for our hope here. They find the surprise ambush around the corner for Steps, but Decimis with the stasis ready to hold the line. Steps, Ty goes deep for it, but he's dropping pretty low. There's the Gargoyles, though, with a knock-up onto Aphelios. Will seal the deal, you've got to imagine. Sadly, we couldn't get the 5v5 for all the marbles. And VKS's playoff hopes will die with this Fluxo win.
You asked me at the top of the game, what did I think of Disarmus? I think he has just hard carried Fluxo.
Yeah, man.